I want to thank the person for sending the enormous bag of Tootsie Rolls, by the way. Yeah. I gotta throw them in the trash. I can't do it. You understand? I was in front of the trash can. I wasn't really. In my mind, though, I was. I was in front of the trash can with this bag of Tootsie Rolls. I'm like, I gotta get rid of it. If I had a cannon right now, I'd like stuff it in the cannon and pull the handle and just launch it out of here. I don't know what to do. The other day, I come in here, I say, it's a bag, it's only a 700-piece bag of Tootsie Rolls. I ate one. I was like, that was good. The next thing you know, I eat another one. I ate, look at this. No, the whole garbage can is full of Tootsie Roll wrappers. Then I come in the house and I'm like, I'm like itching. I'm like, man, the flavor of stuffing 3 Tootsie Rolls in your mouth is absolutely overwhelmingly good. It's just so good. And I go back in the house and I'm like in the kitchen talking to my wife, and my son keeps running up to me with another Matchbox car. Dada, what car is this? I don't know, a Chevelle. Dada, what car is this? A Mustang. Dada, what car is this? It's a Viper. And I'm like, there's more Tootsie Rolls out in the shed. I'm like, honey, we need to do any work around the house? I'll get the tools out of the shed just so I could go out and have another Tootsie Roll. Anyhow, it's like a day before New Year's Eve, and I asked my wife. I said, "What are we doing for New Year's Eve?" Because I'm the last to know about any type of plan whatsoever. So I figured, let me do the preemptive strike here. She said to me, "Well, why don't you sit on the couch and watch a movie?" I'm like, oh my God, I almost had an orgasm in my pants. I'm like, sounds great. I'm thinking, maybe around 6 o'clock, I break out the Jack and Cokes. I got the new tumblers, these nice thick glasses. I'm in my head. I can hear the ice dropping into them. Clang, 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 clang. Then a little bit of glue, 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 glue. I hear the bottle. Am I an alky? And then the of the canned soda, and then the do. Of the effervescence. And this type of thing. I'm going to drink out of my tumbler. I'm going to be in my pajamas and drinking out of my tumbler. And just this type of thing. And then I'm just picturing we'll sit on the couch, turn on a fucking garbage movie. Because my wife has to put on cartoons for the kids. I've never seen anything like this in my life. If we all sit down to watch a movie, for some reason, my son automatically overrides everybody in movie selection. Yeah. And we got to put on cartoons. I can't watch cartoons. So I'm like, that's it. The cartoons come on and I'll just pass out. It's wonderful. If we're not watching something directed by Paul Verhoeven or something with Clint Eastwood, I'm out. I got news for you right now. Next thing you know, it's like 6 o'clock, New Year's Eve day. And I'm like, I'm starving, number one. By the way, I worked from 1:30 in the morning till 10 o'clock in the morning. And then I come home and I got to watch my son. Yeah. I got news to you right now. My son's getting to this age where it's like, dada, 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 dada for 8 hours. Okay, I'm on a shift until my wife gets home from work. It's like, I don't know, it feels like an eternity of dada, dada, dada. Everything's like the best thing ever. He does this thing now where he'll run into the middle of the kitchen and like jump and do like I don't know, a turn in the air, but it's like 3/4 of a turn and come down. And he thinks he just pulled off, I don't know, a triple Lutz. And he's like, Dada, watch, wait. And then he's got to reposition, wait, Dada, I'm watching, Dada, wait, Dada, I'm watching! And then he'll jump and do this, like, twist in the air. And, I mean, what do I really want to say? I want to say, you know what, son? That sucks. That's right. What you just did sucks. And that's about all. But, you know, of course, I know. This day and age, you can't say that. I want to rewind to the 1970s and watch Parents, okay? But everything is positive reinforcement. I have a feel. I'm constantly giving this kid attention. And like every successful person you ever met will tell you that they do what they do because their parents didn't pay attention to them. It's like I'm listening to an interview with David Lee Roth, and they were asking him, you know, what was life like with your parents? And he's like, my mother was the type of woman I would bring home my report card and I would hand it to her, and she would be like, you could do better next time. And he'd be like, Mom, can I hang it on the refrigerator? And she's like, no. She just created a David Lee Roth. Imagine if she was like, oh, honey, this is a fantastic report card. I love you. Yeah, we wouldn't have mean streets. So what if my son does his jump turn and I'm like, you can't do anything right. Like take it a whole 180 degrees the other way and just insult him. That was the most horrible jump I've ever seen. I hope you fall next time. I mean, I don't know. Anyhow, so then my wife comes home from work, and naturally she goes, I have to take a nap. I'm like, a fucking nap? I was like, where's my nap? I love it how she goes into work later than I do, and she's got to come home and take a nap. All right, go take your nap. And before she takes the nap, make sure you clean the dishes. I'm like, huh, what? So I'm thinking to myself, all right, we'll take care of that. She's probably going to get up and cook, right? So she gets up. Now it's like 6 o'clock at night. And I'm so goddamn hungry, I can eat a fucking tire tube. You understand? So I come upstairs. I'm like, hey, great. What's for dinner? She's like, what are we doing for dinner? I'm like, what? I was like, I thought you were cooking. No. I'm like, oh, geez, now the hunger is off the charts. It's like the blood sugar is crashing, this type of thing. And I'm starting to get like, you know, I've been through between work and 8 hours of dada. You understand? My eyes are fried. I feel like my eyes are popping out of my head. I don't know what this is. High blood pressure, a stroke on the way. I feel like my eyes are popping out of my head. One day, I think both eyes are just going to pop out and dangle. Boing, yoing, 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 yoing. And then then I don't know. Then I'll just find like the nearest hole in the floor and jump into it. I don't know what to tell you. So I said, all right. I said, I'll call Mama's Pizza. Yeah, I'm going to call Mama's so they can give me their fucking enormous attitude. I called them up. Yeah, hi. I love it. Yeah, hi. I'd like to place an name. Jesse. Jeffrey? Jesse. Jeffrey? Yeah, Jeffrey. Jeffrey's fine. Anything to get my fucking meatball Parmesan hero now. It's a 2-hour wait. It's a 2-hour wait. Yeah, hold. They put me on hold, of course. Because, you know, anyhow. I hang up the phone on him. I was like, hey, there, take that one. That was like my moment of joy for the night. I hung up on Mama's Pizza. Stick that in your crammer. I said, get dressed. We're going to Gino's. I don't want to go to Gino. Get dressed. We're going to Gino's right now. Everybody gets dressed. Now it's like, it's pushing 7 o'clock here. We roll up to Gino's. They're closed. I said, my wife's like, what do we do now? I said, I don't care. We go to Taco Bell. I got to eat. We get in the car. Now she gets on the phone. And she starts scrolling, like looking for places to eat. I said, honey, just start the car and let's go. We start driving. We pull into this pizza place in Lindenhurst. This place is real. It used to be the fucking duck's guts, baby. Imperial Pizza. Now it's just a shithole dump. You ever have a pizza place? It's like the best place on planet Earth, and then it switches ownership. Yeah. We go in there. I order my usual chicken Parmesan hero. They don't even bring out bread. First they bring me a flat soda. That's strike one. Then I'm like, hey, where's the fucking bread? To my wife. I'm like, where's the bread? She's like, well, why don't you ask? I'm like, I gotta ask for bread in an Italian restaurant? Then the guy brings out the bread. And my wife's like, it's like a loaf of bread. Now we're sitting there like we're also hungry. This loaf of bread is like, it might as well have fell out of the sky on rays of sunshine. You understand? My wife goes to break the bread and it's warm. She goes, oh, the bread is fresh out of the oven. I'm like, oh yeah? I grab a piece and the piece that I grabbed, the center of it is like frozen. It's like they took a frozen loaf of bread and threw it in the oven, but they didn't cook it all the way through. I show my wife, I get the only piece that's frozen in the middle. I show my wife, she starts laughing. I'm like, yeah, that's real funny. That's really fucking funny. Anyhow. Then they bring you the butter pats were frozen. Yeah, we go to Gino's, the butter pats are like, you pull them right out, this, that, the other. I don't know. They bring me this fucking chicken Parmesan. I mean, you could have flushed it down the toilet. It was like Elio's Pizza. That's what it was like. I was like, this is like the Elio's Pizza of chicken Parmesan. So whatever. And my wife's sitting there looking at me. She's like, so what's your New Year's resolution? And I'm looking at her like, should I really tell her? You know what my New Year's resolution is? I want to start a revolution with the CB radio. Oh yeah. I'm so sick and tired of the censorship and everything like that. I have this dream that I'm going to hook up this CB radio. I didn't even tell her. My New Year's resolution is to put an antenna on top of the shed, a monstrous CB antenna. Yes, honey, that's what I'll be doing. When you look out the back window of the house, you're going to see a huge antenna towering over this shed. That's right. That's my New Year's resolution. So that we can communicate. I had this great, I don't know, I just had this idea that I'd be able to communicate with my audience all over the country at the press of a CB button. Because you got to understand something. There's no censorship on the CB radio. No. You can't censor it. Nobody can kick you off a CB radio. It's radio waves. It's 4 watts. You see? Yeah, listen, they can censor FM radio. Yeah, because remember, what do you need to run FM radio? This is 50,000 watts from the Empire State Building. Z100! You know, nobody can afford a 50,000 watt transceiver. But right here, we got 4 watts, baby. Hitting you right in the mug. Come and try to shut it down. You can say whatever you want over these airwaves and nobody can do anything about it. So I envision this post-apocalyptic day where if you say the wrong thing on Twitter, you get booted off. You say the wrong thing on YouTube, you get booted off. You say the wrong thing on Facebook, they boot you off. Well, guess what? Nobody's booting me off of this thing. 10-4, good buddy. What's your 20 bet, Saws? And with the right atmospheric condition, you can talk to anybody in the fucking country. I'm so excited about this. We're going to start a revolution, you understand? I said, this is CB radio. The airwaves are clear right now. They're relatively clear from what they used to be. So wouldn't it be fascinating to use an old technology moving forward that can't be controlled? I'm like, my mind, I shake sometimes when I think about it. So I'm like, am I gonna explain this to numbnuts over here? So I started telling her about it. And she's like, CB radio. And then she says to me, after I get done with my speech, it was like a Winston Churchill speech. She goes, why don't you just use your cell phone? I'm like, a check. Here's the check over here, please. So we can get the fuck out of this fucking Mickey Mouse Italian restaurant you got going on. I felt like saying to the owner, walking out, where'd you get the sauce? Out of a fucking jar? Just to see if he'd put a mafia hit on me. Then, oh, by the way, on the way to the restaurant, she goes, after this, we're going to my mother's house. I'm like, how, what? And I'm like, I'm trying not to be a full-blown alcoholic, but my first thought was, what about my bottle of Jack Daniels? That was my very first thought. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm in my mind, I'm trying to use the force to like have my bottle of Jack Daniels like roll down the window and have it fly out from my liquor cabinet to my hand through the front, through the bay window for all I care. Just get me that bottle now. We're going to a mother's house. I'm like, oh yeah? Well, your mother have anything to drink over there? Why does it always got to be about drinking? I'm like, oh. Well, you know, I don't know. Maybe because it's New Year's Eve. So we leave the pizza place, and I'm like, I couldn't bring myself to say, hey, can we swing back? Because her mother's right by the pizza place. I couldn't bring myself to say, hey, can we swing home and get my medicine from the cabinet, from the liquor cabinet? Could we do that? So anyway, we go to her mother's house. I walk in, nobody's there. It's Javier's on the couch. I go upstairs. My son takes off like a rocket ship. There's my 85-year-old mother-in-law. Love her to death, but this is New Year's Eve. I mean, if I'm going to go out. And Sylvia's on the couch, wrapped up in a blanket, snoring. I mean, you never heard snoring like this in your life. I should have recorded it. It was like the drapes were going in and out. I'm like, wow, this is some fucking party. Where do we start? I sit down on the couch, and my wife's like, you want coffee? And I almost, like the lid almost blew off the top of my head. And I'm looking at her. And no, I don't want coffee! Give me some, what do I gotta do? Ferment some rice in this place to get some booze? My God. Well, I didn't know how to make alcohol. I was about to start picking weeds from the lawn. What do you take weeds and like boil them down? I don't know. Condense the alcohol. I'm like, I gotta have a shot by 11:30. Anyhow, Next thing you know, her mother says something to me that I couldn't believe it. She never speaks English to me. She says to me, "Yessie, wine?" I was like, "Wine? You got wine around here?" I was like, "Sure." She pulls out the wine from underneath the fucking, it's like underneath the sink next to the fucking drain pipe. You understand? The woman doesn't drink. But I think she saw like the terror in my eyes when my wife asked me for coffee. And she pulls out up from underneath it was like, I'm watching her now in the corner of my eye. She pulls out this bottle of fucking like $3 Pinot Grigio. And she's like, and the dust starts blowing, and I'm like, I jump out of my seat. I said, "Yeah, sure." She has like the bottle opener. She's looking at it like the cork puller. She's looking at it like she doesn't know how to use it. I said, "Give me that." I was like, I said, "Well, listen, tonight we're drinking Pinot Grigio, baby." I pour a plastic cup. She gets me a wine glass. I said, "I don't want the wine glass." I'm like, to my wife, translate to her, plastic cup. Now I'm like this. I'm like, this is my only bottle of wine. And now some people showed up, you understand? And I'm like, this bottle of wine's all mine. All mine. So I pour this fucking cup to the rim. You understand? You know how you pour somebody wine, you give them a little bit of wine. I pour this cup all the way to the rim like a real rum head. You ever seen It's a Wonderful Life? When George says to the guardian angel he doesn't want to be born. He wishes he was never born, and the guardian angel says, "All right, we'll do that." And then he goes, "Come on, let's go to the bar and get a drink." And he sees the old man from the pharmacy come in, and now he's a drunkard because earlier in the movie, the pharmacist was a big drinker, and he almost put poison in some kid's medicine. And George stopped that from happening. So, in other words, because George wasn't born, the guy wound up killing the kid by accident by putting the poison in his medicine box or whatever. So the guy comes into the bar now, and he's just a drunkard. He comes hobbling into the bar and whatnot, and George is like, "Hey, what's wrong with you?" He was a mess. He couldn't believe it. So now, because, oh God, the story fucking sucks. Anyway, long story short, the bartender's like, "Hey, Rummy, get out of here." And he sprays him with a seltzer bottle in the face. Remember when spraying somebody with a seltzer bottle must have been a thing? You remember in the cartoons, like Tom and Jerry, they'd spray somebody in the face with a seltzer bottle and then run away? This type of thing. And then they throw him out. He goes, "Get out of here, you old rumhead." Rumhead. I don't know. What are you going to do? So I got this bottle. I pour this cup to the rim. And I take the bottle and I tuck it underneath the cabinet. Like, behind the fucking cookie jar. Like there's some canisters. I tuck it behind there. Oh yeah, like a real alky. So nobody else can find it. Yes. Yeah. For old lang syne. And I go back to the couch and I'm like, and like the cup is gone in 3 seconds. I go back up, I pour some more. Oh my God, let me tell you something right now. Pinot Grigio. I got hammered off of this bottle of Pinot Grigio. I'm sorry, I got hammered off of it. I don't know, wine hits me like in another direction. You drink different type of wines, alcohols, and your body reacts differently. And when I drink wine, I turn into like, I don't know, what would you call it? A bastard. That's right. So now we're all sitting there watching the TV, and we're watching, it's like Ryan Seacrest ringing in the new year. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, when is this guy going to have another stroke and die? And everybody's looking at me like, huh? And I'm looking around and everybody's looking at me like, did he just say that? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't watch TV anymore. Do you understand? I can't take the phoniness. I can't take people talking about 2020. I can't take celebrities coming on and telling me how bad 2020 was. I can't take these phony fucks that come on TV and plaster their face with makeup. I gotta watch this Queer Eye for the Straight guy come on. You ever see this guy? There's over the top. I gotta watch a bunch of over the top gay guys tell me how bad 2020 was. This one guy, he's got his lips blown up like a duck-billed platypus, and he's sitting there and he's like, "Oh my God, 2020, goodbye." And I'm like, oh. And they come out with like the Versace slip-on shoes with no socks, and I'm like vomiting into my pants. I can't take it anymore. And then they're flipping to the news, and then all of a sudden Sam Champion comes on. It's like, what's going on with Sam Champion? All right, listen, guy, I know you're getting hormone replacements here. I love how everybody on TV is getting hormone replacements. I need hormone replacements. Sam Champion looks like $1 million, but he comes out, he's an older man now. It's like, all right, Sam, we know you go to the gym. He comes out, he's got tennis shoes on. This is a weatherman. He's got tennis shoes on with jeans and like a blazer. That's the new look now, right? That's the new urban look. I'm like, Sam, you're like 70 years old, bro. This is like watching, what's his name? Pat Sajak come out with like a Supreme hoodie on. I don't need this in my life. You used to be a real class act. Now, what does Sam Champion think? He's 20 years old again? And then we're back to Ryan Seacrest. And I'm like, oh, I can't take anymore. I got Al Roker here with the pink glasses on. Like, it's so many people trying to be cool. They're just not cool. I go back to It's a Wonderful Life. You look at the way people were dressed. And it was like they were dressed to the nines to go take a shit in the toilet. And today it's like everybody like it's like one person trying to look like they don't care more than the next. That's why I can't watch TV. I can't do it anymore. I'm watching YouTube. I'm watching people build boats out of wood. And then I got to come on and I got to see these, well, ladies and gentlemen, Gloria Gaynor is going to sing I Will Survive before the ball falls. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, wouldn't it be great if she, I was like, wouldn't it be great if she dropped dead while singing that song? And I turn around and everybody's horrified again. I can't do it anymore. I can't do like get it? She drops dead while singing I Will Survive. How could you say that? I get this from my wife. I think you had too much to drink. How could you say that? I'm like, what? I'm like, get it? No? I don't know. And then they're showing us New York City, like the ball falling. There's nobody there. I'm like, what are we doing here? I said, just get me the fuck out of here. I just like, the ball, and now the ball's falling, right? Now everybody's going to get up and do the countdown. And they start counting from 50 backwards. I'm like, no, you count from 10 backwards. I'm not doing 50 backwards. 49, 48. I got this here right now. I'm sitting on the couch. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not getting up. I just don't really care anymore. Like they got the 10, 9, like everybody's screaming. I can't muster a scream at this point. It's just like, get me home and in bed. That's all I could think to myself. I said to my wife, like, here's another thing I said that virtually triggered a silent spell. I said, as soon as this ball hits the ground, hit the auto start on the car. I know, we're going on and on here. Callahan. Yeah. It's on. It's already on. But we'll do it again. It's a dog and pony show. Oh. So I say to my wife, I say, what's your New Year's resolution? To go to the gym more. Everything's with her. The gym, meal prepping, the gym, meal prepping. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, boring. I'm like, get a life. Like, do something. Like, help a charity. You know what I mean? It's like, why don't you, like, I don't know, like, help somebody do something. I don't know. Go to the gym. My wife's been going to the gym now for so long that it's embarrassing to say, but she's actually stronger than I am. We worked out the other day. She's like, it was like, I think it was like Christmas Day or something like that. She's like, I really feel like working out, but the gym's closed. You want to work out with me? I'm like, all right, I'll work out with you. We're doing shoulder presses. Okay, downstairs, I got some dumbbells. We're doing shoulder presses, and she's doing more than I am with heavier weight. I'm like, this is great. This just adds to the embarrassment of my life. My wife, you understand something. She's like a lot of Hispanic women. Like, if you ever notice, like, Hispanic women have, like, good shoulders. Like, some of them have, like, cannonball shoulders. This is from, like, hard work on the farm. I know. It's true. I'm sorry. I know this Jamaican guy. This guy is ripped to shreds. He's like a Mr. Olympia. Because when he was like 13 years old, he was carrying 200-pound baskets of cabbage up a hill and dumping them onto a truck. Yeah, for like 19 years. You know what this does to you? It's like they start him at 5 years old. Walking up that hill. It's like you're Conan the Barbarian turning that wheat mill. Remember when he was pulling the wheat, pushing the wheat mill for like 10 years? Yeah, okay, that'll turn you into like an expert gladiator. Because after that, you're like, I don't know, I'm ready to rip somebody's head off. So anyway, my wife, like, she gets done with her shoulder workout. She's got like 2 softballs. Because she's got like a narrow frame. She's got like 2 softballs over here. The one thing I like to do is I like grabbing his shoulders. I don't know. Like, when I see her, I always grab her shoulders. That's like grabbing onto meat. You understand? I grab my shoulders. It's like grabbing the end of a fucking ball peen hammer. I can feel the bone, and the ball and socket. There's no muscle mass around them. And not only that, she laughs at me. You're not strong. You know, I feel like it's like she antagonizes me. What kind of man are you? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me put on an apron now. What do you want me to make? A flan? That's the other thing. New Year's Eve, somebody brings over a flan. I got news for you right now. I've had it with this shit. I'll take the flan and I'll smash you over the head with it. I don't want flan. Take the tres leche cake and take the flan and flush it down the toilet. I just bring a box of ring dings. Can't anybody bring a box of ring dings? I never had a more wonderful dessert in my life. The first time I ate a ring ding, I said, oh, this is it. This is the best dessert I've ever had. But nobody will admit that. Because it's a ring ding. I would love to open up... There goes Rita. I'd love to open up a fancy restaurant. And then what dessert comes out? I bring you out a plate with a ring ding in the center. But no food critic can admit that a ring ding is the most delicious food ever. Delicious dessert. I'll put a ring ding against your fucking flan any day of the week. I'm eating a flan. I feel like I'm eating like this is like baby shit on a plate. Roll the theme song, will you please? What do we got going on here? You stinking thing. God. Fucking freezing out here. What are we gonna do today? I really don't know. I don't. What are we gonna do? We're gonna pull. What are we gonna do? Maybe, let's do a little. Hello, PC Engine. How about that? Just kick off the new year. Picture time. Oh yeah. Get the old controller. Tap into the old Edison line. We'll pipe into the Sansui 1010. Charging atomic batteries. And we shut off the lights of attrition. Here we go. You know something? No. It just dawned on me. We do a lot of Hello PC Engine. I think today, it just dawned on me. Let's do a little Neo Geo. A little Neo Geo Blazing Star. Never played it before. I don't even know why that popped into my mind. Let's check out a little Blazing Star. All right. It'll be 2022 by the time this loads, but that's all right. Oh boy. Look at the Neo Geo giving us that arcade feel. Oh yeah. $1998. Insert coins gladly. Here we go. Oh my God, look at this. Okay. How does the Neo Geo have that arcade feel? Yeah, but it's so hard to do. The Saturn can do it too. All right, come on. Let's go. Oh, what's that? Am I using a special weapon? Hold on. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a nice comfortable pace. Oh, what was that? I missed it. Take that, bitch! Out of here! What did she say? Bonus? Bonus. The big one is closing in. Oh, a little Darius-esque. Whoa! Wow! Wait a second here. How do you pause it? Kind of like Phalanx, kind of like Lords of Thunder, right? That's it, bitch. You ready for this? Dadoosh! And the music, kind of like Einhander, right? That boss music, yeah. Oh, how interesting. Oh, look at the parallax scrolling. Come on. This reminds me of Gate of Thunder, right? A little bit? The pacing. I'm trying to see if these other buttons will do anything. Well, let's see how far we can get on one guy, huh? I tell you what, I feel like a superhero right now. We would have been on our first quarter still. Uh-oh. Oh, what the fuck just happened? A lucky panel appears? Gorgeous, gorgeous super weapon, right? Oh, do I have? Oh, these, I love these graphics. This is what it's all about right here. Oh boy, what's this guy up to? Oh, how satisfying. Oh boy. All right, here we go. Jesus, okay. Oh boy. Oh, geez, that's a, wow, what a pattern that is. All right, you're giving me a headache over here. What a nice shooter. What beautiful graphics. Oh my God, give me those sprites, baby. I love it. Neo Geo doing it big time. God almighty. Guys, what a way to kick off 2021 with a little ride through a town, Neo Geoville. How about that? Do you realize that you just tuned into the greatest video game program in the history of human civilization? And you better believe that. With the 4K face! We'll see you next time.